Hello, 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 and welcome back to my channel. Or if it's your first time here, welcome. Today, we are going to talk about a special kind of narcissism that's running rampant across the globe. And it's called spiritual narcissism or your spiritual narcissist. Yes, that is a real thing. And the reason why there are spiritual narcissists is because think about it, in the spiritual community, and we're talking about your Jewish roots community, your Christian community, your Hindu community, Buddhist, New Age, just plain old Jewish, Black Hebrew Israelites. I don't know if I left something out, but I'm talking about any religious community, right? So it's not really to bash any specific community or even your self-help gurus. That really, even that. Or even your extreme veganists. And I'm a vegetarian, so I mean, I could be talking about myself. I'm not a vegan, but but I don't eat meat. So you're extreme veganist. That's kind of almost like a religion these days in some people's eyes. So anything, that could be viewed as spiritual. People, narcissists can flock to those areas because think about it, you have a vulnerable population in those communities. When you are on the side of a vulnerable person and you're on your spiritual journey, you're in a very vulnerable spot and you have predators sometimes in that arena. So a narcissist, you're gonna have them in those communities. So I'm not saying everyone in those communities is narcissist, but you will find narcissists in every one of those communities. Period. I don't care which one it is, you're gonna find them. Now, this video is to talk about kind of how to spot them, right? And you don't want to say, just because you came across a person like this or several people like this, you're going to blame that whole entire community for those bad apples. There are literally narcissists in those communities, those religious communities. Because just like with the professions I talked about in one of my other videos, narcissists like to flock to certain professions. Like you might see them in law enforcement, you might see them in the entertainment industry. You're going to see them flock to different religions. And a lot of times they'll be leaders in those religions. In the Christian community, they might be the pastor of your church. It might be someone high up official in your church. Might be a narcissist. Not saying every pastor is a narcissist. What I'm saying is you might find a narcissist leading your church. It's very possible. You might find some Christian author, doing Christian apologetics on the internet, that is a narcissist because he's not doing it for the right reasons, because he's a holy, or she is a Holy Ghost filled Christian wanting to defend the faith. He wants fame, or she wants fame and recognition because they're a narcissist. And there's a way to tell what spirit is behind that particular individual. Now, from a spiritual standpoint, I am a Christian. I'm just going to disclose that. That is my religion. But from a spiritual standpoint, we tend to think that the Jezebel spirit, biblically, is behind narcissism. Everyone's not going to agree with that, and you don't have to, because I welcome everyone to look at these videos. You don't have to be a Christian to look at these videos, but that is just our view. We feel that Jezebel spirit is behind narcissism, right? So your pastor might have a Jezebel spirit. Your favorite self-help guru might have a Jezebel spirit. Your favorite New Age person, teacher that's writing all these books and sitting on Oprah's stage might be a narcissist. Who knows? But anyway, let's get into how to spot a spiritual narcissist. For one, a spiritual narcissist sees faith as a competition. So what you'll often see with a spiritual narcissist is they might, what happens is when they find faith, or they maybe they'll wake up and feel chosen one day and drawn to a certain faith. They might feel chosen. Oh, I was chosen. And they'll idealize that faith. And then they not only have to feel like they were chosen and chose that faith, then they have to literally become belligerent and downright rude and aggressive and push fear upon others and try to force others to jump on their train, to like conform to their their newfound beliefs, because now it's a competition to get everyone to agree with them. So you'll notice that they're the ones that's going all over social media, like literally beating people over the head or invoking fear in others, or like being aggressive and attacking people, trying to get them to agree. Like they can't agree to disagree. You have to agree with my newfound chosen religions, my new religious beliefs. I'll have an example for this in a minute. Or, I mean, they don't necessarily have to be a newfound belief. It can be something that was a consistent belief for them. But they go on the attack. Like they'll literally go around attacking people. You know, like, I mean, I have a very strong belief, but I don't go around attacking people or forcing people. You must believe this way. You're a terrible person. Like, you have to agree with me. No, we can't disagree to disagree. You know, everyone has the right to believe what they want. You have the burden of researching things on your own and coming to your own conclusion. I can't make you believe what I believe, and vice versa. You know, and I'm not going to attack you and call, personally come out with some odd ad hominems and attack your person because we don't agree on something. And that's what they do, these spiritual narcissists. So basically, just one example of someone I believe is a spiritual narcissist. They had a very strong social media presence. 1 minute, they came out as it was a Christian truther with a very large audience, had a lot of people following them. They were one of those aggressive, instill fear type leaders in the Christian truther movement. Next thing you know, they jumped from that train to the Jewish roots movement. Oh, you're not allowed to say anything with the letter J because the letter J didn't exist. I mean, and they will force these beliefs on you. Everyone has a different view about that. You know, you cannot force your newfound beliefs about the letter J onto other people. You know, and I'm not going to get into a religious debate here, but that's just one example. He would get extreme with that belief. And then next thing you know, he went from that Jewish roots movement train all the way to doubting the Bible completely. And he jumped on the vegan New Ager train. So he's not Christian anymore, and he doesn't believe in eating meat, but he tries to tell people how horrible of a person they are if they eat meat and they don't believe like him. Well, you've had 3 different major belief systems in the past few years, and you just expect people to just jump trains with you, and if they don't, they're horrible people. You know, that is clearly a great example of a spiritual narcissist. And it can be very dangerous for people that follow people like that, you know? So that's just one example. And what you'll see with them is, with people like that, and not just him in particular, but just a spiritual narcissist, or any kind of cult even, is they like to manipulate texts and use proof texts to prove their point. So they'll manipulate things. So whatever their new belief system or whatever their point is, they will manipulate the evidence or manipulate the text, whether it be the Bible, whether it be the Talmud, or whatever it is, ancient scripts, pyramid writings, whatever it is. They'll manipulate the text to fit their belief systems and then badger you with it until you conform to their way. And personally attack you if you don't believe. Like, you must conform to the way they believe because they are right. They, in their own mind, are some form of chosen person that has all this special knowledge, and you better get with it. You know, they are a narcissist. In the narcissist's mind, they're God. In their own mind, they're their own God. You know, so you can't challenge them. Even if they're changing their mind every 2 weeks. So you just got to really think of it from that perspective, right? Another thing they'll do is gaslight you. So you'll be like in a debate with someone like this. And next thing you know, they're accusing you of things you never did or never said. And they leave your head spinning and you're like backtracking and you're if you're on social media, you're rereading and retracing your steps. Like, what did I say? Or what did I just do? I didn't say that. I mean, because they're a narcissist. They're gaslighting you. It will leave your head spinning and you don't even know the front to the back. You know, it's so crazy, but they're rampant on social media and in real life. But they use religion also, these spiritual narcissists, to exploit people. Sadly, and weaponize. They use religion as a weapon. It really is absolutely so crazy. I'm looking to see if I'm going to leave anything out. One thing you see, now I've seen this in the church my whole life. Sorry, church, I'm going to have to call you out. But what you'll see with the spiritual narcissist is they do not live by what they preach. So they'll be on the pulpit every Sunday, or in the pulpit every Sunday, preaching, about all these values and living a double life. They might be preaching against this, preaching against that, preaching against this, but they're on the weekend soliciting prostitution or got a whole family on the side with some, lady in the choir or man in the choir. I mean, they just doing the most. Got babies coming on the side. Like they got a whole double life going on because narcissists are above the law. They're above the law and they're above the laws of God. So do you think they really care about what they're preaching? They're above the law. They're narcissists. So that's how you can really tell a spiritual narcissist. They don't practice what they preach. Now, I understand we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all sin. We sin every day as a Christian. Nobody's perfect. Nobody on the face of this earth is perfect. But there's one thing. It's one thing to sin, and it's one thing to live a whole double life. And that's what these spiritual narcissists will do. They will be having a whole double life. I just look back through any time you've seen, a pastor come out, you find out he's had a whole homosexual life on the side no one's ever known about. And he's had this family and he's preaching on Sundays against homosexuality, get your life together. They're very hypocritical, spiritual narcissists. So you got to look past the layers and think. Now, there's a combination of clues that make you realize if a person's a spiritual narcissist or not. It's possible they're just a hypocrite if they don't have a combination of other factors going on, but you need to kind of look at the whole picture to see if they're a spiritual narcissist. And that's just one of the major clues. Okay, so now let's talk about one thing too, I see a lot is you'll see like cult leaders, like these various cults, just random cults. They you'll see a lot of cult leaders are narcissists, and they'll use love bombing. Just they'll use love bombing to recruit new members. So you'll see a lot of cults love bombing people to get them into the cult. Yeah, so think about that. Think about that real hard. And that's why, because you have a lot of cult leaders that are narcissists. So you'll see love bombing, even down to the devaluation and discard. If you're not falling in line and you're not doing what they say and you're not living by the tenets and you're not living by the rules of the cult, they will discard you, just like a narcissist. So just think about it. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy when you really sit down and think about how much a cult can mirror the way a narcissist treats a person in a relationship. It's really freaking crazy. So I think that pretty much sums up, like I said, cult leaders. Actually, a lot of cult leaders are malignant narcissists, the worst kind. And there were studies done to show that. So I'm not just making this up. They think they're above the law and they use the same tactics to abuse and can't remember what I wrote here, to abuse their followers. So that a malignant narcissist would in a relationship. I basically just said that, but I actually wrote that here because that was in a study. I didn't make that up. Another thing too, you'll see with spiritual narcissists. Now, there is a difference because some people do have spiritual gifts. Some people do hear from God. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but some spiritual narcissists will make you feel like they're chosen and they have all these special messages from God. You got to really know the difference between, is this person really getting special messages from God, or are they a narcissist? You have to look at the total package. Look at all the factors. Again, I'm not saying people don't have gifts, because some people have spiritual gifts. Everyone has a different spiritual gift. I mean, some people have healing, some people, I'm not going to get into all that, but I'm not saying that nobody hears from God. But what I'm saying is a spiritual narcissist is likely to act like they're chosen and they get all these special messages from God. I could name some, I'm not going to do that I see on a regular basis that are claiming they hear from God. And you can tell they're not hearing from God because a lot of stuff they say God said never comes true. It doesn't happen. So you're like, okay, you're just making this stuff up. You can test the spirit very easily. So, that's just another thing you can look at. I hope that this makes sense. A spiritual narcissist could also be overt or covert. So you might have a spiritual narcissist that's like grandiose, like one of these big prosperity preachers or what have you. But then they don't necessarily have to be like that. It could be someone that's covert, flying under the radar, appearing to be humble and kind and this and this and that. But by their actions, they are not. They are a spiritual narcissist. Again, you have to look at the total package. You have to look at all the factors cumulatively. Now, everyone, at some time or another, we might have the tendency to have we might have some narcissistic tendencies. I mean, we're human, right? There's a difference between having narcissistic tendencies and being a narcissist. again, you have to look at the package, the whole package. Just think about everything that I've said and kind of look at everything cumulatively and figure out, wow, am I dealing with a spiritual narcissist here? And I bet you're going to be able to pick them out. Now, I don't go around diagnosing people, but I'm just saying, it's just a good way to figure out what you're dealing with when you're sitting there arguing with someone. They're trying to beat their ideas into your head and won't just agree to disagree and take no for an answer, and look at religion as a competition, you know, and being belligerent with you, etc., etc., etc. Or somebody trying to love bomb you into a cult. I hope everything I said makes sense today. I just wanted to drop that little message. I'm sure I'll be back with more on this subject later, but I just wanted to give a quick overview on this beautiful evening. I hope you all had a great day, and I hope you have a great week, and I hope this message helps someone out there. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to post them below. I'll be glad to review those. And that's it. Thanks, and have a good one.